Hi everybody, thanks for joining me again today on my channel. My name is Chris with Kristen Crafts, and today we are doing the first process video for the April Build a Page series. So I have here the picture of our Christmas Zoom and my crazy nephews in their Santa hats. And so we're going to go ahead and get started and see what we can make with this. So the first thing I did off camera was I pulled out a couple more embellishments when I went into my little embellishment box. First is I grabbed this sticker sheet that has the Santa hat on it. Thank you, Michelle, for the suggestion. She thought with the fact that the boys were wearing their Santa hat, that would be cute to add to the layout. And then while I was going through there, I found these additional stickers that were in the colors, and I thought maybe I could use the little house since we stayed home and kind of keep that home theme going. And then what I also did was I pulled out a piece of this craft cardstock, which I'm going to use to mat my photo and also to put a frame on my layout. Sorry for the crashing. So let's first of all go ahead and gut this out so that I can go ahead and do the frame. And I'm just going to cut it with a 1-inch frame going all the way around. This is just some cardstock I think I got at Hobby Lobby or somewhere like that. And of course that didn't cut all the way through. I'll have to do some cleaning up on my cuts here. I have to forgive me, I'm on my lunch hour right now. Work again has been crazy. That's why yesterday I did not get my video up. Ended up working a lot of overtime. So I'm doing it on my lunch hour so that you guys can have something today. All right, so we got that frame done. Then I need to cut the cardstock down. And I'm just going to cut a 1/2 inch off of 2 sides. That will give me a 1/4 inch for a border. And that just kind of breaks up a little of the red. Now I wouldn't mind doing some stamping, but unfortunately, with time constraints, that's not going to happen today. But hopefully I can get off of work at a normal time so that tomorrow maybe we can add some mixed media or something to one of the future layouts. Today I think I've got enough pattern paper that I can kind of cover up a lot of the background, which will take away a lot of that red. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to leave the photos stacked like they are and just give them a nice round frame. And that kind of brings in that craft color that is in this house paper over here. So hopefully everybody is having fun this week, and some of you are playing along and getting into your color cardstock or following along with what Moira and Shannon and Christy are showing you guys. You just want to have some fun motivation here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one down, and I'm keeping it the full size. These were, again, papers. This is like a really good report cover cardstock that I had purchased from Amazon. And this was a suggestion from Tracy Reed when I did one of her Scrap Smarter sessions with Alice Bull and the Scrap Happy group. And she was just saying that you can basically use any kind of inkjet printer to print, even the cheaper ones, which I have. But what makes a difference if you print out your digital items is using a really good cardstock. And so I purchased several digital collections last year in an attempt to try and reduce costs and then be able to reprint things over and over again. And so this collection that she put out last Christmas was one of those that I bought. And it has that stay-at-home kind of feel because that's what we were all doing. This would have been from 2020, Christmas 2020. So now my pictures are Christmas 2021 because, again, we stayed home. So I'm going to put my cutter to the side. And I was just thinking of doing something like just layering the different items that I have, just to kind of give it, we have this here. I just want to give it, use it all up. You know, I don't need to have this in my stash. And so I'm thinking that by having these big layers, that's going to kind of help. So I think something like that would be good. And then I'm thinking I want maybe a longer border. So let's see if we can stack. I'm going to cut this to 3 inches. And then I'm going to cut it in half. Yes. That looks about half. All right, so it's 3 by 4. And I'm thinking I just want to go in and tuck like here and tuck here. If you ever watch Nicole Jones, she does the same thing. She doesn't get real tricky about cutting up her scraps. She uses them as they are. And so right here, very quickly, we were able to fill that in. Now we have this other piece here, and I think I want to do the band going across, and that's going to bring in the home theme. So I'm just going to clean up the edges. And I might even leave that green on because then it from the branding strip, because then that brings even a little bit more of the color in. So I'm just cleaning up the edge, and I'm going to use it as a whole. Well, I take it back. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off, and that way I keep everything in the frame. But you don't have to. You could run it all the way off if you wanted to. But I figure since I have this part in the frame, I'm going to keep this one in the frame as well. So I'm just going to slide this in and have it go from here to here. Maybe bring it down a little. Perfect. So now we have our different layers in there, using up a bunch of scraps. Is it going to be, you know, museum quality? No. Is it fun and getting some papers out of your stash that otherwise were sitting there? Exactly. That's our goal. We're using up some scraps that would have been sitting in a bin. We're getting 2 pictures in the album, and it all coordinates. It was just scraps sitting in a bin. So that was our goal, and I think we're going to succeed. And then you just add your embellishments from there. So let's go ahead. We're going to mat this in the middle. And now when I go to here, I'm going from the top down. Now I don't want these 2 lined up, so I am going to have to either bring it down or up. So I think I'm going to bring it down a little and have that a little bit lower. All right. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to glue the bottom half to this piece with the houses. And we'll go ahead and line that up. Like so. Now we're going to take this section off, and we are going to add adhesive to all of it. And while I have that, I'm going to also add adhesive to this one. And I'm just kind of lining it up so it matches the top. And Line it up and match the top. We're going to put this down. Like this. And now we're going to go and peel this up. I got a little bit of adhesive from there. Now we'll glue the whole thing down. Okay. And now we're just going to line it back up where we wanted it, keeping it within the frame. Yay! All right, so that is all those scraps. These I'll end up probably throwing away because they're not worth saving. So now the next thing I had was these little circular elements, and I am going to try my darndest to cut them. Actually, you know what? I might have my circle punch close. Hang on one second. Maybe. Nope, too small. I thought maybe I had my circle punch, but it is buried in the closet, and I'm not going to go in there right now, so we are going to do our best to fussy cut out a couple of these. So I'm thinking I want the Christmas tree, and I want the word joy. And when you're cutting, you want to move the paper, not the scissors. So my scissors are going to kind of stay stationary. And I'm just cutting out around the outside edge. I'm okay with it not being perfect. If you are somebody that you're going to see that not perfect circular edge and it will drive you crazy, get out your circle punch. I'm okay with it being just a little bit off. And when you're, and you got to remember too, like there's been times where when I'm making a page and I'm looking at it while I'm making it, and there's certain like mistakes or flaws that will just scream and look at me right away. And I'll, you know, and that's all I can focus on. And I'll end up not liking the page. But then I go back later when I put pages away, or I go to flip back through an album later on, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I really like that page, because I'm not focusing on what I conceive to be the flaw and what no one else is going to notice. When you come over and you see my little hand cut stuff, is it a perfect circle? No. When you come to look at my album, are you going to focus on that? Probably not. You're going to look at the picture of my nephews with their Santa hats on and laugh at how goofy they are. And that's not going to be your main focus, and it's not going to be the main focus of anyone who views your album. And again, when you look at it down the road, it's probably not going to be that glaring as when you're making it. But if you're that person, grab your punch. And if you're that person, you may not want to look at my albums. So anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut all of these out. I don't know which ones I'm going to use. I'm always of the mindset, if I have just a little bit left, this piece of paper I won't use as a scrap any longer. It will not go into my scrap bin. It would either go into the garbage, or it will, with it being fussy cut, it will go into my Christmas supplies, where it will get used more likely than if it got put into my color drawers. Because to me, right now with this, it's more of an embellishment than it would be if it was just a scrap of paper in my drawer. And I've done that in the past too. If you have a lot of scraps and you are just bored one night, I will go in and I will look for those papers that are good for fussy cutting. So for example, I think like Amy Tan or Maggie Holmes or Dear Lizzie have had papers where they're like tickets and things like that. And I feel like playing in my craft room, but I don't feel like, you know, making a layout. I'll grab out of my scrap drawers one of those papers and I cut them up into embellishments. Then all of a sudden they're getting used on layouts because they're now an embellishment in my drawer versus a piece of paper in my scrap drawer. All right, so I have these 5 that I can use somewhere on here. But the first thing we want to probably do is look at the bigger elements. And so right away I'm seeing my title. And it's going to be Zoom Christmas. And I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and put it here. I will probably need to add some adhesive to it, or yeah, some liquid adhesive to these, because they're not, Echo Park's not bad with their adhesive, but with the chipboard or cardstock stickers, sometimes they're just not the strongest. So I don't mind adding a drop of it off camera before I put it into my albums. And I may have to move it over a tad. Let's see. See if we can squeeze this in. It's like really close. All right. And I had a choice. I could either go 1 letter into the frame or 1 letter off. And I think going off, it goes even with that green. And so I'm okay with the S being on the red and not on that Christmas tree paper. And then we'll just put the word Zoom above it. Okay, so now when I'm looking and I'm decorating, I see I have this little gap right here. This is a perfect place to embellish. So I could do something like this stack of presents, fits like perfect in there. And I could also go and grab one of these circular items. And I'm thinking I want one that has the decoration, like where this one has the flowers going a certain way. I feel like it needs to go to this side. Whereas this Christmas tree, I might be able to get that on. Or we can go to this side like this. Yeah, I like that better. So we're going to put that there. And we're kind of building our cluster up off of that. So we have our little tree. I'm going to tuck it under the M a little bit. And it ties them all together like that. Now I can take, when I get to the brads, I can add one to there. So our next pot that we want to do something is probably like right in here. And so I'm thinking I want like this house. That can go like right there. And then I have Home for the Holidays. And that kind of will build a shelf for this little house. So I'm going to butt it up to the picture like this. I could go either over there, which then gives me a little bit more space. Or I can go above, but I don't like necessarily how that's kind of encroaching on up there. I kind of like it over. So we're going to go to here for right now. And then I can go ahead and bring in some of my words, which is like the Believe in Magic can go here. And Dear Santa, Define Good, I can go here. So now I've got my cluster kind of going like that. And I have now my circle of joy. Not sure. I'm going to hold off because I'm looking at it and I like how this looks, and you don't have to necessarily put one in each cluster if it looks like it's too much. So right now I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. I could add a stocking, but I'm going to wait on that. So now I'm thinking I want my other one to go like right here. So now I've got where I could go up. And so now we've got our triangle going. So let's go up and let's see what we have here. I have Cozy and Warm Wishes for a Very Merry Christmas. And then I have a Christmas tree. So I'm thinking I want to go and have it like this. And then I can bring it off over here like this. Or maybe go a little higher. Now I can bring in the joy. That tree doesn't look straight. All right, I'm going to bring this up only because I'm going to build below. Kind of like that. I don't like that little bit of a gap. I wonder if I can switch these. So if I put the tree here with the joy like that, I could put the Christmas like that, and then I could stick the presents behind. So now I don't have any weird gaps. I have the presents in here, I have the joy. It's all kind of going together, and then I can put some phrase stickers down below. Like this. Now, I think I want the season to be jolly right here. Do I want this to the front maybe? Yep, I like it better to the front. So now it's kind of working. So I have this all going. Now I have a stocking that I can put in. And I'm thinking I just want to put the stocking like right here. And it's just kind of going around those phrase stickers down here. And I really like this little reindeer. So because I like them, we're going to use them. because again, this is a page that's really just kind of fun, whimsical, and it doesn't have to be too themey. And that's something that my nephews would do, is to put on, you know, reindeer outfit and whatever. Now the last thing, this was a suggestion from Michelle, is to use a Santa hat because the boys are wearing their Santa hat. And so I was thinking maybe I could go and put that on one of these. So let's kind of move the joy over just a little bit more and get the Santa hat on there. And then that works. All right, I think this is gonna be, oh, wait a minute, we got the little gems. So let's see what we've got here. Oh, these are brads, so I think I'm gonna put on a few. So let me get my pokey tool. And where do I want to put them at? Okay, I think I can fit one right here. And we're just going to do the shades of green to bring a little more green out. Okay, I like that. And maybe we'll do another little pokey tool like right here, or another brad right there. And we'll do another shade of green. And add that right there. And then I think I want something right down here. Where do I want it here? Let's go here. And we'll put another one in. Maybe we'll do a red one, so that way I have one of each color. Perfect. And let's see, then the last thing I have is these brads. And let's go ahead and see where we can add some of these in, or the enamel dots. There's 3. All right, and then the last one's up here. I've got 3 more left, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle these on. So I'm going to add one by each of these brads just to kind of add to that. That way they're used up. All right, now I just saw that I had this piece of paper that I didn't use. And I think I'm okay with leaving it as it is, so it's just going to go back into my scrap drawers. These will go into my embellishments, and these will get pitched into the garbage, and we're going to call this one done. So thank you so much for stopping by, and checking out our layout. Tomorrow, our colors will be, I think, orange. Yep, orange. So I'll be back tomorrow and we will do color number orange in our rainbow of colors. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.